Hello, athlete leaders. My name is Sylvia, and today we're going to go over some skills for giving great speeches. To make a good speech, we need some skills. So today we're going to go over some skills that you can use to make a good speech and that can be helpful in other areas of your life too. The skills we're going to go over today are planning, working with others, communicating, getting prepared, speaking with confidence, and speaking in front of a camera. With these skills, you'll be able to give great speeches and you'll go on to do more as athlete leaders in your community. So to start, we're going to go over planning a speech. It's a good idea to start by writing down what you know about the speech. Who is your audience and what do you want to tell them? Are they potential athletes, sponsors, volunteers? And do you want to talk to them to inspire them, to tell your story, or to tell them how they can get involved? You can also write down, what is Special Olympics? What facts do you know about Special Olympics? And what stories can you share? You can also ask others for help coming up with facts and stories. And importantly, what does Special Olympics mean to you? And why do you love this organization? Now it's your turn to give it a try. For this activity, you'll need a pencil and a piece of paper. Try coming up with the following: 2 facts that you know about Special Olympics, 1 thing you love about Special Olympics, and 1 story you can tell about Special Olympics. Remember, don't feel afraid to ask for help. Once you have your information down, next we need to figure out which parts of everything you just brainstormed you want to put in your speech and what order should it go in. When you're deciding what to include, remember to keep in mind the audience for this speech and what message you want to give them. In general, this is the order that you want to use for your speech. First, we have the introduction, where you can tell the audience who you are and why you're talking to them today. Next, we have the body of the speech. This is a great place to put some facts you know about Special Olympics and to tell the audience why you care about Special Olympics. It's also a great place to put any stories you have about Special Olympics. And lastly, it's important to let the audience know how they can get involved and then thank them for their time. Our next skill is working with others. Working together is a great way to make a good speech. 2 heads are always better than 1, so don't be afraid to ask for help. Working on a speech is a great way to practice asking for help and listening to suggestions from others. When planning out your speech, ask someone to help you make sure you have all the information you need, such as who is the audience and why are you talking to them. Other people can also be helpful when brainstorming. When you're trying to decide all the things you can say about Special Olympics, try talking it out with someone else and see if you come up with different ideas. Once you've gotten down all your ideas, ask someone to help you organize them into the introduction, body, and conclusion. Finally, you can ask someone if there's anything missing from your speech or anything they think that can be changed to make your speech even better. After you've written your speech, you'll need to rehearse it. Rehearsing in front of as many people as you can will help you feel comfortable in front of an audience, and they can suggest any changes that might be a good idea. Another benefit of practicing your speech with others is that they can let you know if you're speaking loudly enough and clearly enough. Also, they can let you know if you're speaking too slowly or too quickly. Other people are great for helping to make sure your speech can be heard and understood. A key part of making a great speech is communicating. Speeches are about expressing yourself, so good communication is important for people to understand what you're saying. Here are a few ways you can connect with your audience and express yourself during a speech. Firstly, storytelling is a great way to communicate. Stories can teach other people about Special Olympics, and they can show how you feel about Special Olympics. And importantly, stories are fun. Next, it's great to think about what facts you know about Special Olympics. Facts can help other people understand Special Olympics and how it works. Speeches are also a great time to practice thinking about what you like and telling it to others. Speech writing is a great way to express how you feel. Once you have written down your facts, stories, and feelings about Special Olympics, it's a good idea to read over your speech and make sure everything makes sense so that your audience can understand you. Did you explain why you're here, what you want to tell people, and who you are? You can also ask people helping you with your speech if everything makes sense and if it includes everything you need. Speeches are also a great way to practice your listening skills. Because you'll be working with others to make your speech, it's important to listen to what other people have to say. When asking for help, listen for things you're doing well and listen for things that you could make even better. Another part of giving a speech might be answering questions at the end. Make sure that you're listening closely to your audience's questions, and then you can think about what they've said so that you can give them the right answer. Okay, so you've written your speech and you have a plan. Now what do you need to do to prepare? A big part of preparing for a speech is practicing saying it out loud. You can start by practicing your speech in front of a mirror. Next, you can practice it with one or two people, and then you can try practicing your speech with as many people as you can. Make sure you ask people if they can hear you clearly, and which parts of your speech they liked, and which parts they think you could make even better. You can also try taking a video of you giving your speech so that you can play it back and see how it sounds. Most importantly, just make sure that you practiced it a lot. Another part of getting prepared is making a list of what you need to do so that you can be ready on the day of your speech. Write down all the things you need to do before your speech. For example, pick out what you want to wear and make sure it's clean and neat. Make sure your personal appearance is good to go and that you've brushed your hair, showered, put on deodorant, and brushed your teeth. Get your notes ready and in order with the pages numbered, and make sure that you can read them clearly. Maybe use extra large font. Have anything else you want to bring ready. Maybe you would like to bring your medals from Special Olympics, or maybe a good luck charm. Arrive to the venue early and get to know your surroundings. That way, you'll be familiar with where you're speaking. Is there anything else you can think of that would help you feel ready? Write it down so you won't forget. For this activity, get a pencil and a piece of paper again. Write down all the things you think that you should do before you give a speech. This can be things that you do a few days in advance, up until everything you need to do right before you're giving your speech. You can use some of the suggestions that we had on the last slide, but try to come up with at least 2 ideas on your own. Another important part of the speech is speaking with confidence. Speaking confidently and clearly helps people hear your message, so follow these tips to give a great performance. During your speech, you want to make sure your audience can hear you, so you'll need to speak loudly and clearly, but try not to yell. Try not to speak too quickly or too slowly. It's a good idea to ask others if you're speaking at a good speed when you're practicing. Make sure you're making eye contact and not just staring at your page. Eye contact is great for connecting with the audience. Good body language also helps you connect with your audience. So try to stand up straight and maybe gesture with your hands. But avoid crossing your arms over your chest and try not to fidget. Most importantly, be yourself and remember to smile. A lot of people get nervous before giving a speech, so here's a few strategies that you can use to master your nerves. And remember, because you've prepared, you're gonna do great. Before your speech, a great idea is to take 3 slow breaths. Maybe try putting your hand on your belly and try to move your hand as you breathe in and out. You can also try doing some easy stretches. Try reaching your hands up to the sky and getting as tall as you can. Then try rolling your shoulders forward, up, and back a few times. During your speech, it's always okay to pause and breathe. Sometimes you just need a moment to get settled. And remember to tell yourself, I'm prepared and I'm going to do great. I've got this. For this activity, get up and try doing these exercises that can keep you calm before your speech. First, place your hand on your belly and try to slowly breathe in and out. You can feel your hand move as you breathe. Try doing this for at least 3 rounds of breath. Next, stand up and reach your hands up to the sky, stretching up as tall as you can. Feel powerful in this stance. Lastly, drop your hands to your sides and roll your shoulders forward, up, and back. Do this a few times until you feel loose. You can write these exercises down and keep them with you when you're practicing your speech. The last skill we're going to talk about today is speaking to a camera. With so much being moved online these days, you might be doing your speech in front of a camera at home. These are a few things you should be aware of in case you're speaking virtually. First off, make sure that there's enough light in the room, especially in front of you, not behind you, so that we can see your smiling face. Next, be sure to look right at the camera. That will make it seem like you're making eye contact with your audience. Be sure that your camera is secure, and try not to angle the camera up at you from below. If you're using a webcam, try putting your laptop on some books so that it's at eye level. Now, you might feel funny talking to a computer, so try to imagine that you're talking to someone you care about when you're looking at the camera. Even though you're not in person, Still remember to smile and sit with good posture. To make sure that you're following all of these tips, you can try taking a few practice videos to make sure that everything looks great. So that concludes our skills for speeches. Let's just do a quick review of the skills that you're learning when you write your speeches and think of some ways that these skills could be helpful in other areas of your life. So we went over planning, working with others, communicating, getting prepared, speaking with confidence, and speaking to a camera. Looking at these skills, in what other areas of your life might each of these skills be useful? Take a moment to think about it, and then we'll look at some examples. Our examples are, for planning, this could be good for writing a story. Working with others is a great skill for doing group projects. Communicating is good for telling others how you feel and listening to how they feel. Getting prepared could be good for packing for a trip. Speaking with confidence might be useful when you want to talk about your experiences in a group. And speaking to a camera is a great skill to have if you're video calling with a friend or relative. Great work, athlete leaders! This concludes our Skills for Speeches workshop. Have fun rating great speeches and connecting with others.